Hey guys, All in Crypto here and welcome back ladies and gentlemen for another YouTube video. Make sure you pay close attention to what I'm about to tell you in this video because I'm going to be reconfirming to each and every one of you out there that are invested in not only Cardano but other cryptocurrencies that you are a part of the future. I'm going to show you that straight off the bat, and then we're going to go straight into what is happening with Cardano. If there is a possibility of more downside, which let me say from the outset, I do believe there is, but that is irrelevant. Short-term timeframes and whether we sell off 10%, 20%, 30%, we could sell off 90%, and I would still be heavily invested in the projects that I am in because I believe cryptocurrency is the future, and I'm going to show you one reason, and I have hundreds of why that is. What we're going to do, guys, and I often speak to you about the fact that blockchain technology is comparable to the internet when it first came on the scene, and cryptocurrencies are comparable with the stocks that came out of the internet in the kind of dot-com boom. I'm going to show you that right now and make that very, very apparent to you guys. So here you have Cardano. This is 2017. I hope you can see this. Should we put it on a weekly? It might be a little bit more clear. Yeah, a weekly is great, guys. A weekly will make the point very clear. So this is Cardano. This is the big dog in the room, which we're going to do some, we're going to kind of give you an overview of everything. This is Bitcoin, of course. We'll take it off a logarithmic scale. Now, when the internet first came out, guys, we're going to look at two stocks. We're going to look at Amazon and we're going to look at Microsoft. And I'm sure that already you guys can see the comparability between both Amazon and Microsoft and Cardano. And Bitcoin. You know, I'd like to think that this is rather obvious. You know how you have these kind of boom cycles. So this is Amazon. This is Microsoft. This is Bitcoin. This is Cardano. Now, with any emerging market, you have this initial boom, this kind of mania. You then enter a severe sell-off. Bitcoin sold off by... What I'm trying to do here, guys, is show you that you are a part of the future. 92%, roughly. We're taking a rough estimate. Amazon sold off by 95%. Nobody was going to touch that back then, but if you had just understood how the future looked, like I'm trying to re-emphasize to you individuals out there today that are, I know a lot of you that follow me, and a big shouts out to you guys that comment on every single video. I know who you are, you're duly noted, and it is unbelievably appreciated, guys. Seriously, the people that are supporting me on a daily basis, it is taken note of, and I want to thank you before I even go on with this video from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me, and it's you guys that are the reason that these videos come out on a daily basis, and I try and stay as frequent as I can and make sure that even in times like this where we have all this nonsense going on with Rocket Man tweeting about whatever he's tweeting about, trying to manipulate the market for his masters or whatever, it's times like these when you really need to understand what you're a part of, and you're a part of the future, guys. So Amazon sold off by that. Bitcoin sold off by something similar. You have these kind of boom and bust cycles with any kind of new technological emerging market. And then from that, you just continue to climb, ladies and gentlemen. And that's where we are today. That said, we're going to jump into some smaller time frames now. I'm going to give you more of a breakdown. So this is Amazon. This is Microsoft. Much and such the same, ladies and gentlemen. And if you just understand what you're investing in, hold on to that belief, you will do just fine, guys. I mean, you really will. This is exactly how I predict the future charts for cryptocurrencies are going to look. And you do have volatility that comes after when these are getting established as, real assets, real, real, investment options. So let's look at Cardano on a smaller time frame. Now, Cardano looked great and has just shown nothing but strength. One of the reasons Cardano is so strong is because the people invested in it have that belief in the project. We know that that is the case because we know how much of Cardano is actually staked. You have, I think it's 73% the last time I've checked. It could be higher than that now. And that really shows a vote of confidence. That's why during this entire sell-off, Cardano has been one of the best performing cryptocurrencies in terms of its resilience against the tide that is Bitcoin. Now, we did look in yesterday's video, said that, look, Bitcoin had broken out. It had indeed, or was certainly toying with the idea of breaking out of this descending resistance. It did that, but it did that with rather feeble momentum. This essentially has caused a sell-off to the downside, because when you break through a resistance level, you want to see the volume, you want to see the momentum. You don't want to see a huge engulfing candle that essentially is showing you that the momentum is against you. This was largely caused by Elon Musk. We made a way longer video. Go and watch that, guys. We're not going to cover it too much in this video. But what I really want to stress, guys, is this is so irrelevant. It really is. There are probably 100 reasons and theories of why he's doing this, why he's not doing this. Ignore it. Focus on the bigger time frames. Focus on what you're investing in. And I am adamant that blockchain technology is akin to the internet and cryptocurrency is akin to those stocks that came out of that. And you are a part of the future. And in fact, something like Cardano, we spoke about a $1 trillion market cap for Cardano, and people were going, no, in your dreams, you're speculating. Of course, it is speculation, but it is speculation that I am taking based on, probability, based on where this technology could actually go and what it could mean and the kind of value that it could accrue based on macroeconomics. We have a dollar that just keeps getting printed into infinity. It's not just the dollar. I pick on the dollar because the dollar is the world reserve currency, guys. That's why we choose to use the dollar, because it's the most kind of widely used and distributed currency out there. Lots of countries have debt in the US dollar, etc., etc. So this is where we're at, guys. I mean, Bitcoin has sold off. This was literally all caused by Elon, essentially, or certainly helped by him. I don't like to think he's the sole reason. This, of course, has had an effect on Cardano, and it's upsetting that Cardano is still largely tethered to Bitcoin, because I don't think they are. I don't think it's necessarily just that Cardano is tethered to Bitcoin. I think that it's his own thing. It's not big enough to be its own entity and planet yet. It still is at the mercy of the gravity of Bitcoin, but we will get there, and that's the future we're moving towards. More great news that came out yesterday. There we go. Alonzo Blue hard fork successful, important milestone, and good to see our first HFC event test. Mary to Alonzo, go successfully. Our SPOs will now do some further testing before we bring a few more SPOs on board. You are making progress. We already have the Alonzo rollout plan, which is going to end around about September with no bugs, and if everything goes smoothly, this is when you're going to have the Alonzo mainnet, which is going to complete the Goguen era. I make sure to stress that on every video, because this is going to increase the demand for Cardano tenfold. That's why I'm still accumulating it. And regardless of whether we sell off, you have the same people that said last weekend was going to be a horrific sell-off here again. They're just going to keep saying it until they get it right. They'll get it right once, and then you will never stop hearing about them. It's so annoying. I mean, just, and really, I'm not afraid to tell you this. They're only doing it so that they get the views from you on YouTube and profit as a result of it. That's the only reason they're doing it. Probably not even because they really believe in it. Some of them perhaps, some of them not so much. But you can see, Bitcoin doesn't look great right now. You've still got this sort of triangle that you're in that you really don't want to see any kind of a breakout of. You do not want to see this descending resistance. You can, of course, go, ascending resistance. You can, of course, go below. But this one here, the big one, the kind of floor of this triangle, if you sell below that, you've probably got more pain coming. We did more of an autopsy on Bitcoin. Autopsy is not the right word to call it. That person was very correct in the comment section. Kind of recap would be a better word. Autopsy has a bit of a doom and gloom connotation to it. It's not an autopsy. Bitcoin is nowhere near dead, guys. Ultimately we're bullish. We're still largely bullish regardless of what happens in the crypto space. And the reason we are is because of the point that I made at the start. You're a part of the future. These are going to be the operating system. Something perhaps not like Bitcoin, but something like Cardano is going to be the operating system of the future. It's why we talk about it every single day. I have confidence in what's going on. Charles is living life in Miami right now. It's good to see him actually enjoying himself, because this is a hardworking individual, and he is really one of the reasons that I'm invested in Cardano, because I have faith in this individual in terms of what he's trying to achieve and the fact that he will get it done. He spoke about Vitalik yesterday, and Vitalik spoke about him on Lex Friedman's podcast. Very interesting for those of you that don't know, and we could see a kind of collaboration in the future. I do suspect that. They're both, as much as they perhaps do or don't like each other, they're both very amicable now to one another, whereas previously it was rocky ground. If you've read any of the Ethereum books, they're great. So yeah, market's sold off. It is what it is, guys. Ignore idiots tweeting about Bitcoin and trying to crash the market for their masters or whatever the case may be. Just understand what you're a part of. Cardano, yes, you have sold off. You did come above this descending resistance, but you have come straight back down it with some momentum. You could see a snapback rally, guys. You absolutely could, but you're largely at the mercy and the gravity of Bitcoin. That's just how the game goes for now, guys. You're still, we're not majorly bearish at all. Weekends are going to be a tricky time. Let me stress this point to you right now, because weekends are always a trying time for the crypto space. Things go very low volume, etc., etc., etc. They become a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy because people open shorts on a weekend and expecting the price to go down based on, the kind of previous price action from prior weekends. So they become a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's irrelevant. If anything, what it is a good buying opportunity. The lower the price goes for me, the more I'm going to accumulate. I've made that very clear to you, and I'm going to lock it up in staking pools. I showed people how to stake on Binance yesterday, and I think people got very annoyed because Binance is a centralized entity. I'm aware of that, and the reason I did that was because I didn't want to go into how to, some people aren't comfortable moving their cryptos about. Some people might have only just bought some. I think it's better that they start earning interest on a centralized staking pool than, one step at a time for some people. And that was just a real sort of, beginner's way to perhaps stake without, having to move your crypto about, having to set a deadless wallet up or something like that. It was just it was just for the people who really wanted to know, essentially. So that's all I have for you in this video, ladies and gentlemen. I felt that was a very important point for me to make about the kind of .com stocks, because we go on about it quite a lot. The reason we go on about it for a reason, guys. Ultimately, I do believe blockchain technology is the future. That's why this channel's here, to try and educate and hopefully switch on as many of you to that as possible. Guys, I am going to love and leave you on that note. We're going to be here throughout the weekend updating you on a daily basis. Stay tuned, guys. We're going to keep, like I say, we'll see what happens. We'll see if Rocket Man decides he wants to keep tweeting. We'll see what happens, guys. But ultimately, Bitcoin doesn't look great right now. We did think you were perhaps going to see a bit of a hammer forming. Cardano showing strength again. This is just really due. The resistance lines that we drew, you did go through one, you came back below it, but this one here is kind of proving a little bit tricky. These are just previous swing highs, essentially, where you've met resistance before. That's kind of how we've drawn those resistance lines. You're back in this triangle now. You could see a pop straight back above it. Like I say, this is what we want to see, but we want to see that with momentum. We don't just want to kind of drizzle out. You are still technically making higher highs and higher lows on the sort of shorter term time frame, but we'll see what happens, guys. Ultimately, we're bullish on the crypto space, even if short term things don't look certainly bullish. There is definitely a bit of a bearish sentiment, certainly with us going into the weekend and this being a kind of precursor to the weekend. All I have for you in this video, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to love and leave you on that note. Hope you all have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Thanks a lot for watching.